Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Frankie Gabriel. Hey, Frankie, how are you doing?
Hi, Tim. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here today with me. We were going to have you on the broadcast, but unfortunately, life's changed and you couldn't be here for the live broadcast. But we wanted to bring you in here to talk a little bit about Jesus Christ Superstar. So, when you think about the show, what comes to mind?
On the first thing I think of is Noel Ruiz. I mean, the first thing I think about is Noel. I saw the show at Creative Ministries 2 runs before, or maybe even 3 runs before I was able to play the part of Judas. And, getting to see Don Dowdell Sr., play that Jesus track epically was one of the things that made me want to come work at the theater, really. Those were some dynamite productions. So, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is Noel.
Because that was actually my next question, Frankie. You beat me to the punch here. I was going to ask you, but what made you want to audition for the role of Judas? So you saw the shows at CM, and that vocal part that Judas does is just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's taxing. Well, I saw the show, and it was my grandmother's favorite show. God rest her soul. It was her favorite show, and she would sing it all through the house, and I would sing it all through the house, and she would sing the words even though she didn't know them, and I just always wanted to play Judas. I mean, it's a vocally taxing track, but just at that time in my life sat right in my wheelhouse, and it was as rock and roll as it got for me. So it's probably my all-time favorite role.
So a friend of mine who lives near me, where my house is, was in the Broadway production of Anastasia, and one of the characters in that show, his name's Dimitri, and it's one of those characters that you just want to sink your teeth into. But so many people got bumped out of playing that role because they just didn't have the vocal chops to sing it. Do you think that that's also the same case for Judas?
Yeah. I mean, emotionally, there's some chops that comes to act that role, properly. I saw Tim Roth, is that his name? Tim Roth, maybe, at Theater 3. I saw a Judas there that was absolutely mind-blowing. And, vocally, it's so intense. And I think that when it comes to casting that, you have to be able to pull off both of those. And there's a lot of yelling and screaming, and to do it twice a day is a lot of prep for your chest and your voice, and a lot of rest. And at that time, I was doing my rock and roll thing, so my rock and roll chops were really dialed in at the moment. I think that carried me through the show. I mean, there was times when I would, in the middle of the show, I would turn to Billy Lewis and I would go, and he would be like, it's a hard show to sing. It's a hard show. All the tracks are really hard to sing, but Jesus is that's a screaming track. Difficult.
I was gonna pull up a video of you, and let me see if I can pull it up here. Come on, computer.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness! Oh, what happened?
Whoa!
I'm sorry for hitting it during the middle of the
That's okay. Attaboy, young Frankie. Wow. That was hard.
So when you look back at that, what do you think?
Oh, I mean, I was so pleased. I mean, there's been I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and over time you really figure those out. And this is a show that was really, really strong. I felt really strong about this, and I was very, very, very deep in this character, and I was so fortunate to be surrounded by so many talented people that those people make you look even better. You know what I mean? Like, those people make you look even better. Dan Amy makes you look even better. You know what I mean? Billy Lewis. Those people, just when you're on stage and you share the stage with those people, they push you to be better. So I was constantly testing myself, and I'm so happy I saw that. That was cool.
So I was watching today, and I was trying to pick the best moment. I'm like, oh my God, there's so many amazing moments. But that one I thought just totally featured your voice. If I didn't press stop. So Frankie, what aspects of Judas, now looking back at it, and we just talked about, looking back at it, but what aspects of Judas do you relate to the most?
In all honesty, Judas is a tortured soul. He's a tortured soul. And, not to go too deeply into it, but in my late 20s and early 30s, I was going through a lot of personal issues, and I was a tortured soul. And there was times where I just felt alone. And, even though I had so much support, I felt alone. And, there's a lot of that character in my real life at that time. And it was easy for me to draw emotion from, what was true to life at that time. So it was easy for me to come out there and pour my heart and soul into it, because I understood the character on a personal level. And I took that show very seriously.
Frankie, Gabriel, thank you so much for being here with us today. Appreciate you taking the time, and we hope to see you hopefully back on our stage very soon.
Yeah, I hope so. Thanks for having me. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir.